Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital recap for Monday, December 29th, reveals that Willow Kane agreed to keep Scout Quartermain's secret from Drew Kane. Kevin Collins was also offered a 6-month job in Dublin, so that's how Monday's GH occasion played out. At Windermere, Jen Sidwell made it clear to Drew Kane that the Solon was only useful to him if he remained in office. Willow intruded and spoke to Drew intimately about Scout being happy about her visit to Alexis Davis's place. Meanwhile, Marco Rios advised Lucas Jones to put on a mask when it came to Willow and avoid showing his true passions. Lucas did his stylish to keep the peace, but it wasn't long until pressure erupted in a discussion with Willow. Drew came to Willow's deliverance before Lucas offered a memorial about saving his life after the firing. Lucas reconvened with Marco and hoped his swain would no way put on a mask when it came to him. At one point, Marco spoke to Sidwell intimately about all the distractions helping him through a tough time, including pitching in with his father's business. Sidwell had to keep Sonny Corinthos alive for the moment, but he assured Marco that Sonny was a dead man once he was finished with him. At Alexis' house, Danny Morgan made a surprise appearance and was pleased to see Scout. Although Danny was suitable to spend a little time with Scout outdoors in the snow, Alexis had some bad news once he came back outside. Molly Lansing Davis and Christina Corinthos Davis helped Alexis explain that Drew's condition for letting Scout come over was that Danny couldn't be there. Danny complained a bit, but he eventually understood Alexis was in a tight spot and took off. Scout came back from the kitchen where Cody Bell had been abstracting her with a hot cocoa charge. Alexis explained the situation to Scout, who agreed she'd keep Drew out of the circle on Danny's visit. Back with Willow, she was eager to leave Windermere following her battle with Lucas and return to Alexis' place to pick Scout up. Scout got in the auto with Willow and gave her updates on Danny being their moment, but she didn't want Willow to tell Drew. Willow prompted Scout not to worry and said that the secret was safe with her. Next, Danny griped to Cody about having to follow Drew's orders, but Cody felt he should play the long con and stay for a chance to reconnect with Scout. As for Sidwell, he spoke to Jordan Ashford about her hefty end of the time perk and pushed her to dig into whether a case was being made against Drew for highway robbery. Sidwell ultimately reconvened with Drew, who offered consolation about the blackmail drama not being an issue. After Sidwell mentioned some work for Drew in Washington in the new time, Drew suggested there was still work to be done in Port Charles. At Laura Collins' place, Kevin got off the phone and revealed that he was wanted for a 6-month tutoring gig at a council in Dublin. Kevin hoped Laura would come with him, but she suggested the timing wasn't right considering she just got re-elected. Still, Laura prompted Kevin to take the offer anyway. Once Jordan showed up and spoke with Laura intimately, she mentioned some particular words she'd scored regarding Sidwell. Jordan allowed. They might be suitable to make Lucy Coe and Ava Jerome's collective interest in Sidwell work to their advantage. Laura agreed, especially since Lucy tended to be impulsive. Although Jordan sounded suspicious about commodity differently going on with the mayor, Laura worked to move her that it was each good. Kevin spoke with Laura again after Jordan left and felt he should turn down the tutoring gig in Dublin. Laura argued that they demanded to keep their options open considering the mess with Sidwell. At Café Sherry, Sonny ran into ADA Justine Turner and praised her for showing compassion to Portia Robinson in court. ADA Turner refocused out that Portia still committed a crime, but Sonny defended the croaker a bit. Sonny also thanked Justine for being lenient with Rocco Falconeri and claimed he no way forgot when someone showed kindness for his favored bones. Justine felt there was a difference between a teenager who squinched up and someone like Sonny. Nonetheless, Sonny talked about the Argentine area and suggested Justine might have to do commodity wrong for the sake of a loved one day, too. At the Quartermain manse, Jacinda Bracken showed up with gifts for the kiddies, so Michael Corinthos accepted them before Tracy Quartermain said Jacinda should stay for a nightcap. Tracy was cordial to Jacinda, but she advised Michael about threatening her on formerly Jacinda was in the grease paint room. Michael tried to defend his love with Jacinda, but Tracy felt that perhaps Michael was lying to himself, too. Latterly, Michael spoke with Jacinda alone and admitted that Tracy allowed. He was taking advantage of her. Tracy assumed their relationship would be over once the trial wrapped up, but Michael assured Jacinda that wasn't the case. Jacinda sounded uncertain, but Michael offered up a gorgeous, precious cuff as a late Christmas present. Although Jacinda didn't want to accept it at first, Michael put it on her and suggested it was a commemorative of his heightening affection. General Hospital spoilers say Jacinda and Michael are headed for disaster, so don't miss what's coming up. Kevin Collins was offered a job in Dublin, while Scout Kane and Danny Morgan unintentionally had time together. Also, Jacinda Bracken showed up at the Quartermain manse, and Jordan Ashford had useful information for Laura Collins. Moment on General Hospital, Jen's upset about Portia's claims of Drew's blackmail at the Boxing Day party at Windermere. Jen Sidwell told Drew Kane he was upset about Portia Robinson's claims that Drew blackmailed her. He reminded Drew he was only precious if he stayed in office. Sidwell demanded to choose whether to completely support Drew or cut ties, so he asked Jordan to check with the mayor's office about any case against Drew. Willow Kane arrived after dropping Scout at Alexis's house. Lucas Jones told Marco Rios he wanted to avoid Mrs. Kane by going to their bedroom. Marco suggested Lucas should make peace. Marco told Lucas to make up with Willow or at least act okay. Taking his advice, Lucas started drooling with Willow about her kitties after seeing them on her phone. But their discussion snappily turned into a fight about Willow's children. Lucas said he'd to move to Boston after giving Wiley Corinthos over because it was too painful to be near the son he lost. Willow replied that she would give up her kitties or leave them. Also Drew came by and told Lucas to stay down from his woman. He walked out not wanting to see Lucas again. Willow decided to pick up Scout from Alexis Davis's house. Father and son heeded the end of a tough time latterly. Sidwell and his son heeded the end of a tough time, which included Marco's mama passing down. Marco expressed gratefulness for the distraction of working at Miller and Davis but claimed that Sonny Corinthos must pay for Natalia Ramirez's death with his life. Sidwell joked that Sonny was paying in other ways, and Marco praised his pater for condemning Henry Dalton's murder on Sonny and Laura, also using it to blackmail them. Now you see why I need to keep Sonny Corinthos alive for now. Don't worry, formerly I'm done with him, he's a dead man, Sidwell said, and they tinkled spectacles. Marco and Lucas bandied putting on acts or not. Drew reassured Sidwell reconnecting with Marco. Lucas admitted he plotted to get along with Willow, and Marco joked that it was good Lucas was a croaker, not a counsel. Lucas asked his swain not to act like a counsel around him because he wanted all of Marco, indeed the corridor he wasn't proud of. Marco said he loved being himself with Lucas and agreed that their relationship was open and honest. But as they hugged, guilt crossed Marco's face, knowing he wasn't being completely honest with Lucas. As Drew left Windermere, he told Sidwell not to worry about the blackmail claims. Sidwell replied he hoped that was true because he demanded the Solon in Washington after the new time. Kevin offered a job in Dublin. Jordan had useful information for Laura. Kevin told his woman he got a job offer to educate for 6 months in Dublin and wanted Laura to come with him. Since she had just been re-elected, the timing wasn't great, but Laura said he should still go. Also, Jordan arrived. While Kevin checked on Ace Cassadine upstairs, Jordan participated some useful word about Sidwell with Laura. She explained that at the Boxing Day party, Lucy Coe looked jealous when Sidwell flirted with Ava Jerome. They agreed that if Lucy and Ava were both after Sidwell, they could use that to their advantage, especially Lucy's impulsive nature. Jordan upset about Laura. She denied anything was wrong. Kevin turned down the job as Jordan stepped out. She tasted that commodity wasn't relatively right with Laura. Still, Laura claimed she was impeccably fine. When Kevin returned downward, he informed Laura that he'd decided against taking the tutoring position. In response, Laura suggested that they ought to remain open to colorful possibilities, particularly given the fact that Sidwell was blackmailing her. She claimed he couldn't pass up such an economic position, indeed if she was unfit to join him, which he'd requested. Kevin also reposted that he simply couldn't abandon her during such a grueling time, especially in light of the Sidwell predicament. Sonny encountered Turner at Café Sherry. Sonny met Justine Turner at Café Sherry, where they talked about the trial's direction during Portia's evidence. Sonny mentioned that Justine showed kindness by guarding Portia from further demotion during cross-examination. Justine joked about not demanding a character for compassion in court, but she ultimately agreed that she didn't like seeing Portia traumatized on the stage. Still, Justine believed Portia committed a crime and should face the consequences. Sonny argued that good people occasionally make bad choices for their loved bones. And he'd to cover his family from his once miscalculations. Sonny sympathized with Portia. He sympathized with Portia, participating that he'd endured both sides of infidelity, which is complex. Justine responded that court operates else, and her only mercy could be a plea deal before trial or charity during sentencing. Sonny thanked her for the grace she showed Rocco Falconeri, saying he no way forgets similar kindness towards loved bones. Justine refocused out the difference between a teen who makes a mistake and a career miscreant, stating there's no Argentine area for reprise malefactors in her court. When Sonny suggested she might one day have to do the wrong thing for someone she loves, Justine scarfed, saying he could explain anything. Sonny said he didn't need to explain anything and left. Danny and Scout unintentionally spent time together thanks to Willow. The Davis girls and Cody Bell had a late Christmas with Scout. Alexis told Christina Corinthos Davis that Drew said Danny couldn't come, but when he showed up, the siblings wanted to be together. While Danny and Scout erected snow people in the vicinity, Alexis told the others she felt torn between esteeming Drew and not hurting Danny by saying he'd to leave. When the kiddies came back outside, Cody asked Scout to help make hot chocolate so Alexis, Molly Lansing Davis, and Christina could talk to Danny. Danny was disappointed but understood they had to follow Drew's rules. He said an emotional farewell to his family while the family held back tears. Cody drove Danny home. Cody donated to take Danny home, and as they departed, Alexis embraced her granddaughter while Scout blubbed, expressing that she didn't want her family to go. Scout revealed that Danny was the only bone who truly understood the pain of not having their mama around presently. Alexis assured her by saying that Danny would always be her family, despite the current complications between him and her pater. Alexis also advised Scout to keep Danny's visit a secret from her pater, to help Drew from getting worried and to keep Danny out of trouble, and Scout promised to keep it to herself. Scout told Willow the secret. Willow arrived to take Scout home. When Alexis expressed her gratefulness to Willow for bringing Scout, Willow mentioned that she understood the significance of family time during the leaves, especially since Alexis was working hard to see her children. After her granddaughter left, Alexis broke down in gashes. Latterly, she commended in Molly and Christina that she demanded to recapture Drew's favor and win the trial, not only for Willow but also because Scout's future was at stake. Meanwhile, Scout told Willow that Danny had been at Alexis's house and asked her stepmom to keep it from her pater. "Don't worry," Willow assured her. "Your secret is safe with me." XF Jacinda dropped by the Quartermaine mansion at the Quartermaine manse. Michael Corinthos told Tracy Quartermaine that Monica Quartermaine would have been proud of how she guided the family through their first Christmas without her. Jacinda came with gifts for Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, so Tracy invited Michael's gal in for a drink to know her better. When Tracy thanked Jacinda for the gratifying negative press Drew faced after the former companion's night out with him, Jacinda said it was part of her old job. Tracy praised Michael's gal for reinventing herself as Nina Reeves' adjunct at Crimson. While Jacinda went to the grease paint room, Michael thanked Tracy for being nice to his gal, but she said she had to be kind to Jacinda since they were both lying to cover him. Michael told Tracy he was using Jacinda after she indicted him of not being honest about his intentions. Tracy noted that Jacinda was falling for Michael, but he was honest about his intentions. Drawing from her own jests with men who misled her, Tracy advised Michael to define their relationship before Jacinda got hurt. When Jacinda came back, Tracy said goodnight, and Jacinda snappily asked what his great-aunt studied of her. Michael participated that Tracy believed he was exploiting Jacinda, and despite his attempts to change her mind, she knew he was using Jacinda as an justification. Tracy was induced that once the trial ended, Michael and Jacinda's relationship would too, but he disagreed. Michael gave Jacinda an precious gift. Cody told Danny to play the long con with Drew. Jacinda confessed she wanted to believe that but felt like commodity bad was coming. To prove their relationship was real, Michael gave Jacinda a cuff as a late Christmas gift. She dithered to take the precious present, but he claimed it was a sign of his true and growing passions. Back at the manse, and worried, Danny complained to Cody about Drew segregating Scout from the family and how helpless he felt. Cody advised Danny to play along with Drew's rules while staying for a chance to restore his bond with his family. The final Monday of the year in Port Charles was a study in delicate beginnings, fragile alliances, and the quiet, dangerous machinations that simmer beneath the surface of polite society. As the holiday season waned, residents found themselves navigating a complex web of secrets, with some choosing to protect the innocent, while others plotted vengeance under the guise of celebration. The episode unfolded as a pivotal chapter where personal promises collided with political threats, and the bonds of family were tested against the harsh realities of power and loss. At Windermere, a gathering of tension and strategy. The Boxing Day festivities at Windermere provided a glittering, tense backdrop for several key confrontations. Jen Sidwell, ever the political strategist, took Congressman Drew Cain aside for a stark reminder. His support for Drew was contingent on one non-negotiable condition: Drew must remain in office and untainted by scandal. Sidwell's pointed concern over the lingering whispers of Drew's alleged blackmail of Portia Robinson was less about moral outrage and more about cold, hard utility. A compromised congressman was of no use to his ambitions. This political tête-à-tête was interrupted by the arrival of Willow Cain, fresh from dropping off Scout at Alexis Davis's home. Her presence immediately cast a pall over Lucas Jones, who sought refuge with his boyfriend, Marco Rios. Marco, acting as both partner and pragmatic advisor, urged Lucas to don a metaphorical mask and maintain civility with Willow for the sake of peace. Lucas attempted this diplomatic approach, making strained conversation about Willow's children. However, the raw nerve of their shared, painful history was too exposed. Lucas spoke of the unbearable agony of being near Wiley after giving him up, a pain so profound it forced his relocation to Boston. Willow, defensive and steadfast, fired back that she would never abandon her children. The fragile truce shattered, drawing Drew back into the fray. He swiftly came to his wife's defense, issuing a sharp warning for Lucas to keep his distance before escorting Willow away, her desire to depart the estate now urgent. In a quieter moment, Sidwell shared a toast with his son, Marco, to mark the end of a difficult year, a year that included the loss of Marco's mother. Marco expressed gratitude for the distraction of working at Miller and Davis, but his focus was singular: vengeance for Natalia Ramirez's death. He insisted Sonny Corinthos must pay with his life. Sidwell, the master manipulator, assured his son that Sonny was already paying in other ways. He revealed his cunning in framing Sonny and Laura Collins for Henry Dalton's murder and then using that very frame-up as blackmail leverage. "Now you see why I need to keep Sonny Corinthos alive for now," Sidwell coolly rationalized. "Don't worry, once I'm done with him, he's a dead man." Their clinking glasses sealed not a festive sentiment, but a death sentence. Later, Marco and Lucas reconnected, with Lucas confessing his failure to keep the peace with Willow. Marco lightheartedly noted it was a good thing Lucas was a doctor, not an actor. In a moment of vulnerability, Lucas begged Marco never to wear a mask with him, to always be his authentic self. Marco promised their relationship was open and honest, but as they embraced, a flicker of guilt crossed his face, a silent testament to the secrets he keeps about his father's deadly business. As Drew prepared to leave, he offered Sidwell bland reassurances about the blackmail issue, while Sidwell emphasized his need for a functional congressman in Washington come the new year. At the Davis home, a secret sanctuary and a heartbreaking farewell. Alexis Davis's home became an emotional sanctuary, hosting a belated Christmas for Scout. The joyful atmosphere was complicated by Drew's explicit condition: Danny Morgan was not to be present. This rule was shattered when Danny himself made a surprise, delighted visit. While Molly Lansing Davis and Christina Corinthos Davis helped Alexis manage the situation, the children were granted a precious, stolen interval together, building snow figures in the backyard. Inside, the adults wrestled with the ethical dilemma, torn between respecting Drew's dictate and sparing Danny's feelings. Cody Bell expertly diverted Scout to the kitchen on a hot chocolate mission, allowing Alexis to break the difficult news to Danny. Though hurt and frustrated, Danny demonstrated maturity beyond his years, understanding the precarious position Alexis was in. The subsequent goodbye was a heart-wrenching moment. As the family fought back tears, Danny shared an emotional embrace with his little sister. Scout, sobbing in Alexis's arms after Danny and Cody departed, poignantly confessed that Danny was the only one who truly understood the pain of losing their mother. Alexis comforted her, affirming that Danny would always be her brother, and then made a practical, protective request: Scout must keep this visit a secret from Drew to avoid further conflict and punishment. Scout solemnly agreed. When Willow arrived to collect Scout, Alexis expressed profound gratitude for the visit. Once alone, Alexis's composure broke, revealing the immense pressure she feels. She confessed to Molly and Christina that winning Drew's favor, and the trial, was imperative not just for Willow's sake, but for Scout's future stability. In the car, Scout, trusting her stepmother, shared the secret of Danny's visit. Willow, understanding the complex layers of blended family loyalty, offered immediate reassurance: "Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me." At Laura Collins's home, a crossroads and a conspiracy. Kevin Collins faced a professional and personal crossroads, sharing news of a prestigious 6-month teaching offer in Dublin. His hope was for Laura to accompany him, but the timing clashed with her recent re-election as mayor. Laura, though touched, selflessly urged him to accept the opportunity regardless. Their discussion was interrupted by Police Commissioner Jordan Ashford, who arrived with strategic intelligence. Jordan relayed her observations from the Boxing Day party, noting the visible jealousy from Lucy Coe when Jen Sidwell flirted with Ava Jerome. She proposed a clever manipulation, leveraging Lucy and Ava's mutual interest in Sidwell, and particularly Lucy's notorious impulsivity, to their advantage in undermining him. Laura agreed to the plan, though Jordan sensed a deeper unease in the mayor. Laura dismissed these concerns, insisting she was fine. After Jordan departed, Kevin informed Laura he had decided to decline the Dublin position, refusing to leave her amid the Sidwell blackmail crisis. Laura, however, argued fiercely for keeping their options open. She insisted he could not pass up such a career-enhancing opportunity, even if she couldn't join him immediately. She framed it as a necessary strategic move in their larger battle against Sidwell's coercion. At Café Sherry, a discussion on morality and mercy. A chance meeting between Sonny Corinthos and ADA Justine Turner at Café Sherry evolved into a philosophical debate. Sonny thanked her for the compassion she showed Portia Robinson on the stand, shielding the doctor from unnecessary humiliation. Justine, maintaining her professional demeanor, acknowledged she disliked witnessing trauma in her courtroom but stood firm that Portia had committed a crime and must face consequences. Sonny, drawing from his own tumultuous life, argued for the gray areas that exist when good people make bad choices to protect those they love. He extended his gratitude for the leniency she once showed his nephew, Rocco Falconeri, stating he never forgets kindness shown to his family. Justine drew a firm line, distinguishing between a teenager's mistake and the pattern of a career criminal, asserting that in her court, there was no gray area for repeat offenders. When Sonny suggested that one day she too might be forced to do the wrong thing for someone she loved, Justine scoffed at his rationalizations, leading Sonny to depart with a final, cryptic remark that he felt no need to rationalize his actions. At the Quartermaine mansion, gifts, warnings, and self-deception. A reflective Michael Corinthos told Tracy Quartermaine that their matriarch, Monica, would have been proud of how Tracy steered the family through their first Christmas without her. The moment was punctuated by the arrival of Jacinda Bracken, bearing gifts for Wiley and Amelia. Tracy, playing the gracious hostess, invited Jacinda in for a nightcap. Her cordiality, however, vanished once Jacinda visited the powder room. Tracy turned a sharp eye on Michael, accusing him of stringing Jacinda along. Drawing from her own bitter experiences with dishonest men, Tracy warned that Jacinda was developing real feelings, while Michael was being dishonest about his intentions, using her primarily as an alibi. She predicted the relationship would end the moment the trial concluded. When Jacinda returned, Tracy made a polite exit, leaving Jacinda anxious for feedback. Michael, opting for a version of the truth, admitted Tracy believed he was taking advantage of her. He tried to dismiss his gray-tint cynicism, but Jacinda voiced her own foreboding sense that something bad was coming. To combat her doubts and perhaps his own, Michael presented her with an extravagant late Christmas gift, a stunning, expensive bracelet. Despite Jacinda's initial reluctance, Michael fastened it on her wrist, insisting it was a token of his genuine and deepening affection, a gesture that seemed designed to convince them both of the relationship's authenticity. Aftermath and advice: playing the long game. Elsewhere, Danny's frustration over Drew's controlling rules boiled over as Cody drove him home. Feeling powerless to see his sister, Danny lamented the situation. Cody, offering sage advice, recommended a strategy of patience and subterfuge: play along with Drew's rules for now, biding time for the right moment to rebuild his bond with Scout. It was a lesson in the long con, a theme echoing throughout Port Charles as characters masked their true feelings, guarded their secrets, and plotted their next moves under the watchful, threatening eyes of those in power. Thus, the episode closed on a tableau of delicate new promises: Willow's to Scout, Michael's to Jacinda, each a quiet baptism into deeper complicity. These were starkly contrasted by the angry threats simmering in the hearts of men like Sidwell and Marco, for whom the new year promised not renewal, but reckoning. In the heart of winter, Port Charles stood on a precipice, where the act of keeping a child's secret could be as consequential as plotting a rival's demise.